Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hbar. So let's just dive in and let's start with this video here. So we do see Lehman, the clairvoyant. You can listen to Dr. Lehman Baird's 2017 Harvard talk on Hedera here. So this is a 15-second long clip. It's just something short. I wanted to play it real quick though, and I want you guys to hear it because what we are seeing in the market today and what we are waiting for happening in the market as well. I mean, like, listen, we've been talking about regulations around crypto for a while. I do think that the FTX situation is definitely going to streamline this. We talked about that in an XRP video from yesterday, and really the main plan behind the entire FTX collapse. A lot of people suspect that the entire FTX collapse was planned. We can go in depth on that all day long, but nonetheless, I just want you guys to hear this, and then we will talk a little bit more about the meaning behind this video.
Typically, the history of any kind of market is that you have this enormous springing up of thousands and thousands of companies, and then you have a crash, and then you get down to 3 or 4, whatever, big companies that continue on there. And that's the way every revolution tends to happen. I'm sure we'll see the same pattern here.
And, this is basically like the dot-com bubble. For anybody that, wasn't around during that time, including myself. Listen, at that time, I think I was like maybe 3 years old, 4 years old. But we know about it. We've read, the history on it. We know exactly what happened. Astronomical valuations were getting put on some trash companies. I mean, like, you've seen companies coming out with billion-dollar plus valuations, and they basically had nothing tied to them at all. There was nothing behind them. They weren't backed by anything. And, now we are kind of seeing the same thing. I mean, like, we go over here to CoinMarketCap, and, this market is sitting under $1 trillion, hit a $3 trillion, all-time high at its heights. And, we just seen a massive crash. But when we look down the list on the top 100, I mean, right off the bat, you see Dogecoin. You see, Shiba Inu, some of these other tokens as well. I mean, Solana is still in the top 12. But there's so many other major projects on here that, we can look into. There's nothing really behind it. I mean, Terra Classic is still in the top 50, just to give you guys a quick insight on that. We've looked at ApeCoin, how it could very well be a security. Some of these tokens don't really have any value proposition tied to them at all, and I would argue that there's a lot more tokens outside, of course, the top 100 that are completely garbage tokens. If you look at the top of the list, at the top of CMC, they give you a little bit of a breakdown on just how many projects there are in crypto. There's over 21, almost 22,000 crypto projects in the space. So I would argue that, yeah, this is basically the future behind what is happening behind crypto. I mean, like, you look at things happening with a lot of these major collapses leading to mass regulation talks around the world. I do believe that regulations are going to come in, kill a large portion of this market, probably 99%. And a lot of people aren't really kind of realizing this, but to me personally, when we look at this market, we are still very well in the infancy stages, and projects like Hedera are very lucrative because I do believe that going forward, once we do see regulations ushered in, many of these projects will really kind of, push well beyond the means of any other thing out there within crypto and become the blue chip stocks that we know of today, like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, etc. But also over here, we do see proof of reserves from WorldPay Global. Now, we've talked about the WorldPay Global project with FIS. This is a huge company, the largest payments processor in the world. We're looking at trillions of dollars under management from them and things like that. So we've broken them down in the past, but nonetheless, we do see this is quoting CZ. This is from November 8th, and he was talking about all crypto exchanges should do Merkle Tree proof of reserves. Banks run on fractional reserves. Crypto exchanges should not. Binance will start to do proof of reserve soon, full transparency. And of course, they were talking about this use case, and we do have the gossip about gossip proof of reserve addressing stablecoin uncertainty with WorldPay from FIS. And listen closely to this. It really kind of talks about how this could be the saving grace around a lot of these major collapses that we are seeing in crypto, specifically regarding, of course, stablecoins and how they do become uncertain and depeg and then cause a massive crash like we did see.
Now that's all great and well, but one of the first things you read about if you were to Google stablecoins is everything that's gone on with kind of the algorithmic stable coins over the last 6 months, and in particular, some of the challenges in that space. And then B, how the transparency around reserves for certain stable coins still maybe isn't exactly where the industry or certain participants in the industry would want it to be. And so for us, if this product's going to be successful, it was really important that we have the ability to instill some degree of trust or confidence that the stable coins we had disbursed or sent to our clients were actually backed up or had been minted with actual fiat currency and not created out of thin air or created based on some algorithm or whatever it might be. And so the use case that we're developing on and hope to bring to market this year is basically what we're calling proof of reserves, where we can get for each transaction where we mint and send out stable coins, some sort of proof that we as WorldPay have actually provided the minting party, whether it's Circle or Coinbase or Paxos or Binance or whatever stablecoin you're using, that we had provided that party with the equivalent amount of fiat to mint the stable coins that we minted and then sent to you, our client. So basically, it captures proof, whether it's through a bank transfer statement or wire transfer record or hash or whatever, and then stores that on Hedera as kind of a ever-living, immutable, irrefutable proof that, yes, when we sent you those stable coins today or tomorrow or yesterday or whatever it was, there was actual fiat currency that we had provided to the minter when we did that. So there's no funny business going on here. It's real money sitting behind that coin that you've got.
Yeah.
And that will be very beneficial, not only for, you're looking at just crypto, right? Everyone's just thinking crypto, but this could very well be beneficial for the entire financial sector. I know Tether is a big one that a lot of people were concerned about. Even earlier, yesterday, we've seen this starting to collapse, as you guys do see, which a lot of people would look at this and be like, okay, yeah, it's time to panic. Let's get out of USDT right now. Just so you guys know, look at the all-time chart here. Nothing to be concerned about. During 2017, 2018, we've seen a lot of problems with USDT, where we did see this similar issue, but ultimately it was fully fixed. But something like this would definitely benefit most of the market. And I'm very excited for a lot of these use cases to go live. Listen, we've been talking about these use cases going live. Yesterday, or I shouldn't say yesterday, the day before yesterday, we made a video on Hedera's transactions per second. The TPS were really kind of ramping up. We do see over here from Nick Vitero over on Twitter. Holy step function. Good morning, H Barbarians. Hedera just broke its record for daily transactions, and we're only 5 hours in. Is this finally it? Now, we actually have a full-on breakdown on what happened with this. We actually seen the team comment on it. But yes, this was a massive amount of transactions. We actually seen over here from the Hbar Foundation, y'all catch that, 10 hours, 24+ million transactions, one live enterprise use case, testing and a mainnet, didn't even break a sweat. Whatever your DApp is, Hedera and Hbar can supercharge it. And yeah, this is very substantial. I think I even liked a tweet. I would have to find it real quick. But I liked the tweet that really kind of broke this down on why this is so insane. It really is something special, to say the least, because although this is just one use case, there is so many other major enterprise grade use cases going live out on Hedera that still have not come to market just yet, but we are still waiting patiently for that. And I can't find the tweet now, but I seen it earlier today, and I was it got me excited, because when you look at things happening around this, it really does kind of beg the question. So actually, here it was. So it's from XRP _owl over on Twitter. But we do see it appears yesterday that Avery Dennison was testing Atma on HCS, around 25 million transactions in 10 hours. That is one enterprise use case. Imagine what happens when 10 go live, 100, 1,000, just food for thought. And I do think that this is what 99% of the market is missing out on in terms of Hedera, because if we are reporting transactional flows like this just from one DApp being tested, and this is an enterprise grade DApp, but if we are reporting just one use case like this, it's substantial, to say the least, that we hit 24.5 million transactions in one singular day from one use case like this. And we know that in terms of Atma.io, That's not even like a like it is a huge use case, but it's not nearly as large as some of the other grade projects that we have been looking at within Hedera. I mean, right now Hedera transactions slowing down. 36 or 26 TPS. And by the way, there's no more speculating on what happened with Avery Dennison and the Atma test. We actually have full-on confirmation of this from the team over at Hedera. For example, Shane Higdon from the Hbar Foundation did mention this is not a test. Hedera Hbar, and it was hitting 1,000 TPS. I think somebody screenshot it. It was at like 5,000 plus. It was insane. But we do see down here, we do have a question. How do I square this post with Christian Hasker post about potential dips and future resurgence, not being snarky, just seeking clarification? And we do see it's not a test in the sense that it is a real use case and real data live on mainnet, but mileage will vary until they are comfortable flipping the switch permanently. And yeah, we are waiting for that flip the switch moment. It's very similar to like XRP almost, where we are waiting for some high grade use cases going live around payment processing and value proposition that could very well account to some major utility cases being printed out that could promote and really kind of revalue some of these assets in a completely different landscape. And what I mean by that is right now we are still in a Bitcoin driven market, hence why the entire market moves when Bitcoin moves. But what if, and I always ask this question because it's a very interesting question, but like what if we throw the fundamentals out of the entire market that are revolving around Bitcoin's price action, and we reshape the entire market around fundamentals that do matter in terms of utility and utilization of the network, like something like this, where we have thousands of TPS per second that are demanding massive amounts of volume as well as value to be transacted over a mainnet. Like the value proposition here around some of these tokens could very well be astronomically much higher than what we really kind of perceive them to be. Hence why I say like 99% of the market is missing out on this major thought that, of course, XRP underscore owl has, which is the idea that like this is just off of one use case. We know that there's dozens in the making around Hedera. I mean, you go over to their website and you can look at the GC members and what they are trying to do. I mean, one of the biggest use cases to me is the ServiceNow one, right? Because that is just, it's not just one area of focus. The ServiceNow partnership and the use case that they're trying to, build out in terms of like digitizing workflows and automating workflows around the business and the company grade sector. Like that's for every single enterprise, and that's enterprises that are in the Fortune 500 that are massive companies that could very well really, and I mean really spike the TPS to tens of thousands. I mean the possibilities are endless for the TPS demanding use cases like that. So to me, this definitely was a very nice insight on where things could definitely be headed around Hedera. I think that this is a great sort of insight on what could happen at any moment. I am very excited to see that flip the switch moment around this use case. This is most likely Avery Dennison. I would argue that this is Atma.io. I mean, listen, they wanted to go live in the fall timeframe, so this is a great test. Don't know when it's going to go fully live, but when it does, watch out, because if we're seeing like 24 or 21 million transactions in just 24 hours and the day was just beginning that day, like that's something special to say the least. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.